Welcome back to War Thunder and welcome to Duck Talks number 39. Yes, it has been a while since I did the last one. I'm sorry, but better late than never, and it's better we have to talk about stuff than, just rambling on. It's kind of the same. First of all, I want to talk about Wacken Open Air and what happened on the journey to there. Spoiler alert, nothing nice. Then answering the questions from last Duck Talks. Then I want to talk about certain other topics. Discord, ship mass test, then dislike ratio, then the lack of views for certain videos, answer general questions, just like that. Then big news for Gamescom and the Steyer Waffenträger, so it's kind of a realistic expectations version of Duck Talks to a certain degree, and all that wrapped up together in one video. So first question is from Mixed Channel Game Productions. It's simplified the question what I think about E50, E75 to be 7.0 and the Panther 2 together with the 10.5 centimeter Tiger 2 getting down to 6.7, and also the Jagdpanzer für 5 changing place with the RE251. The simple answer is there is no real okayish answer, because the vehicle that were mentioned are all kind of made up and are just futuristic vehicles in the sense of that they did not see the light of day in real life, so to speak, although certain parts are in the game, like the 88 on the Panther 2 is a well-known weapon. The engine and the armor, I don't quite know about it. The thing is, if you get the 10.5 to 6.7 together with the Panther 2, we kind of have the old problem of the old days, and people will cry about that then, the E50 and E75 being then also kind of made up, but do not really give that much of a brutal advantage if they don't get the right ammunition to deal with tanks like the I6 from the front reliable. That's the thing. How reliable are those vehicles in battle performance? I really agree on the Jagdpanzer für 5 and the RE251. It's really odd that the Jagdpanzer für 5 has a much higher battle rating of 0.6 than compared to the RE251. That shouldn't be the case, that the tank destroyer version of a tank has a higher battle rating. Yeah, there is an exception like the Jagdtiger, but that has a different gun. That's the important part. I think the overall big picture is the compression. First we have to solve the compression issue from battle rating 6.0 onwards up to, I guess, 10, 11, something like that, with all the post-war vehicles and the battle rating spread of 1.0. Yeah, it's a never-ending story. That's the quick answer. You can't give a right answer to that question. A quick answer to a sentence in the big text of wall in the big wall of text from Technoflow. Why beer and not schnapps? Well, beer is good in the long term because it keeps you in the game. Schnapps is just, if you drink too much of it, a complete knockout blow. Beer is regenerating you after a mosh pit, hack banging, wall of death, circle pit, crowd surfing, all the good stuff. Beer also tastes better, and it's better to cool than schnapps, especially with dry ice. It's just something that I have come up with in the last few years. Yeah, that's the quick answer. Another reply to Princess Pudding. No, I didn't use the beer pipeline at all. For all of you that don't know what I'm talking about, the Wacken Open Air is so big that there are selling points for beer on the infield, and they actually have big troubles getting the beer barrels through the mud, and while the festival is running it's difficult, so if the beer is out it's a bad thing. So this year they came up with a beer pipeline. The problem is they sell Becks, and Becks is piss. I'm sorry about you Northerners, but it's really piss. There was good beer on the beer garden stage because they partially sold Bavarian beer, and that was kind of okay. More on this in a moment. It's a funny, nice idea, but if you serve shit, out of a pipeline, I don't, consume the shit just because it came out of a pipeline. That's the quick reply. Another reply goes to Rational Reality American. It's again a wall of text, and it was about the thing that I'm kind of biased, and that certain of my opinions leave a bitter taste. Yes, I know that, but I can't make it right for everybody. And I try to do my best. It's my personal opinion in each single video. It's biased towards bringing balance to the game to show off real big discrepancies or inequalities or unfairness in the gameplay, such as 6.7 Germany. And yes, I still am not giving up on that. Then also German flight models. I love German planes, the look of them, and I would love to fly them, but they're so pathetically bad in certain aspects that I just can't enjoy it. And if War Thunder claims to bringing certain kinds of realism into the game, then I'm really wondering why German planes are so historically accurate, while certain other vehicles just simply UFO around, much like in arcade, and other people not talking about it. If you want their opinion, watch their videos. A big, banner over my videos should be: do not just listen to my opinion, also ask other people or watch their videos when they play the vehicle that you just saw in my video. It's all out there, you just have to watch it for yourself. Make up your own mind. It's yours, it's free, use it. So the next question is actually a very simple one from Shugun. Hey Napalm, what's your favorite nation to play, and what nation would you like to see added as the next one? So first let's talk about the last part about it. I guess the next additions to the game, aside from certain vehicles, would be that I guess the Italians receive both their tank module and later on, or earlier on, the naval section. The next pure nation, I guess, will be France. I'm really wondering about certain parts, like the tanks and the airplanes in later stages, so everything that happened from 1942 onwards in the development stage, so to speak, because it was under German control, and what the Vichy regime did. I'm not quite sure how independent they really were. It has to be seen. I'm really curious about it, and the ideas that I have I will not spoil for you, but I guess it will be France. What nation currently I enjoy is, of course, I enjoy the Italian planes, to spade them, because I think in certain parts about the higher props they are like the Germans should be in terms of responsiveness. Not so much about the turning capabilities, but the responsiveness, the accuracy, the overall handling, with having practically the same engines and same weaponry. And then suddenly my skill makes a difference. If I play badly, I get wiped from the screen. If I'm good, I can make the kills. I can have a good impact on the outcome of the battle, and that is why they are so enjoyable compared to the Germans. When it comes to the look of vehicles, I think there is next to nothing to the Japanese planes, and the look, the sheer look of German planes. Focke-Wulfs, Bf-109s, even the bombers, they look so titanic. They're awesome to look at, not to play. For tanks, I guess it depends at the exact same battle racing. For pure performance, I-6029, of course. At higher tiers, it's overall a big mess, and it depends if you are spaded or not. For not spaded vehicles, Russians any day of the week. For spaded, well, which vehicle has the fastest reload for the HEATFS shell? A shame that it has come to this stage. Yeah, but moving on, I think to play the British with their stabilizers and APDS at lower tiers are nice. I love to play them even before they got their stabilizer, and even before the APDS buff to the 20 pounder in particular, which was kind of strange for me. Jan Hammer asked, was trinkst denn du für Bier? In English, what kind of beer are you drinking? To make it short, local breweries. They're awesome. End of discussion. I actually went away from drinking the big names, even Augustina. I don't like the brewery. The beer is okayish. It is okay, but it's not the magic beer that a lot of people praise it to be. I sell that stuff. I know what I'm talking about. I'm doing nothing my entire life than to sell that stuff, you know. And people still then ask, you know, are questioning my judgment about this. I've tried them all, and I stick to certain local breweries, which name I will not give away, but because they are my dirty little secret. Oh yeah. Stefan87 asks the simple question: how you get the red aiming reticle? The simple answer is it's not a mod. I get that asked a lot. It's not a mod. It is within the key bindings. I use the L key for lighting or something. It looks cool, but it also helps you to aim in certain street combat where, you know, the wall of certain vehicles is the wall of certain buildings is really dark, and so you can make a difference in contrast. That sounds really ridiculous when you think about it, but in certain situations that makes a difference. It's not a mod, it's in the game. I use no mods at all. So that's it with the questions for today. Thank you for all the people that took part in the discussion that went on in last Duck Talks. Thank you for all the support and the kind words. But please remember, this is not a place for hating other people. Even though you might be right, or you know, it might be your opinion about the other person, it doesn't matter. It's not a place for hate. Yes, that comes from a German guy. I know, all the memes. However, back to the story about Wacken. What happened? So, before I tell the actual story, here are a few informations that you have to know. Wacken Open Air is in the very northern part of Germany. It's around about 800 kilometers away from my living place. It's the biggest heavy metal festival that there is, and it's awesome. And since 2009, I have been there every year since. And I also have the tickets already for next year. So, there is that. Next year will be my 10th anniversary. I can't wait for it. Wacken overall was awesome, but when we traveled to Wacken, that happened. Napalm, da ist auch mal der Gummi geplatzt. Oh, shut up. Yeah, I'm not a tire expert, but that looks kind of unhealthy. So what happened? This is the tire from the trailer, or at least that was the tire from our trailer. And we are four persons in the car. We loaded up at my place. We loaded all the stuff that we need for camping inside, all the drinking, all the alcohol, all the grill, the meat, everything that you need. And I looked at the tire and said, well, looks okay. It was the trailer from my buddy, and also the car was from him. By the way, 6-cylinder diesel engine with 330 horsepower. Lovely machine. Awesome car. And we went on and we drove off Monday at around about 8 o'clock at night, in the afternoon, so to speak. And we made our first break after around about 120 kilometers. And I looked at the pressure of the tire on the fuel station. It was okay. And the profile was okay, everything looked normal. Then I went on, and around about 10 kilometers later there was an elephant race. For everybody that doesn't know what I'm talking about, it's practically one truck trying to overtake the other one on the Autobahn, which takes a lot of time, annoys everybody else, and it is even dangerous. So usually you have to drive such a trailer with around about 80 kilometers an hour. This one was made for 100 kilometers an hour, and I overtook it with 120 kilometers an hour, which shouldn't be much of a problem because it was weight-wise just halfway loaded. It really was. And suddenly I feel a very slight vibration in the steering wheel. Look into the mirror because I was driving, and I see a huge wall of smoke behind the tire, think to myself, shit! Suddenly, the cover comes off with parts of the tire in the air. I see how the trailer goes to its side. I correct it because I was already overtaking the bloody trucks, and there was nobody in front of the trucks. And there was, for what no reason, there was an exit on the Autobahn, so a gateway practically where we could drive off the Autobahn. And I had to correct it that way anyway. And off we were there. I drove over 3 lanes without blinking, you know, for all of you that got the meme, and just came to a halt at a red light. We were getting out of the car, looking at this. Shit, that could have ended differently, you know. I was. The shock was coming afterwards. While it happened, it was just a split second like that. I was just reacting to all my known skill that I had in driving such trailers, because I drive them at home on a regular basis as well. That could have ended quickly, and that is where the actual story begins. It was kind of an odyssey. So that all happens on a German Autobahn at night at 10 o'clock. Okay. So we were there looking, we were then driving on like 20 meters into an area where you can actually, you know, stop your car without any danger next to the road. We were off the Autobahn by then, if you haven't noticed, and we were looking at that. Shit, what to do? Well, I have ADAC Plus, in German, ADAC Plus Mitgliedschaft. So he was, one of the guys in the car was membership in the ADAC Plus, and that means he was kind of participating in the premium part of that, and that's great for getting a lift with a, you know, blown tire. And it's for free, the lift. So we called that guy. 2 minutes later, it just came into my mind, shit, there are still tire parts and, you know, the cover on the Autobahn. So we called the police. I'm not kidding. 10 minutes later, the police were arriving with the tire parts and all that in their back of the car. And they were just, you know, asking who was driving. Well, that was me. You know, there was no trouble with me. I have a regular driving license. I was driving the car with permission because that guy was sitting next to me. You know, 2 years later, he wasn't sober at all. And, you know, I was thinking to myself, well, now the trouble gets started. But, you know, they just looked up the personal data, asked me a few questions. 2 minutes later, they were off. It was just like that. I was like, oh, well, that's different, because normally if the police stops near you, it's not so nice. Usually you have to get controlled if you drank something, and if this and that. But they were quite fixed. I think the best thing about it all that nothing happened. Nobody took damage except the tire. And then, well, the ADAC truck came and gave the trailer a lift next, and he asked where we would go. Well, we need a new tire. Well, no tire for you guys. It's late. Nobody has opened. Well, you know, you're from the ADAC. You need to have a tire. We described it on the mobile phone. Well, yeah, but we don't deal with tires. But this guy, you know, in the town near there is dealing with it. Yeah, but it doesn't open. It doesn't have open anymore. Nope. You have to wait until the morning. And this is where it really started. So he gave us a lift to there. We had no other choice, you know. We had to go away from the roads. So he brought the entire trailer to that tire dealer, and we called everybody. Does anybody have such a tire, or you know, another trailer that we could lift up? It was at Erlangen, which was around about 130 kilometers away from my living place. So it would not have been such a big deal to drive back and to lift one up, or to just get one and drive it back, and then to get all the stuff into the new one, leave a letter there, please repair, we will pick it up 1 week later. We didn't care. We were on the way to Wacken, you know. different rules are important there. So yeah. Then I also informed the other guys that we wanted to pick up on the way to Wacken, you know, that were intended to camp with us, and said, well, we will come some few hours later. That we would take, instead of like 8 to 10 hours, nearly 22 hours up until we met was not intended. So we had to camp there because nobody had a trailer, nobody had a tire that was fitting, and nobody was awake anyway because it was Monday night, so everybody was sleeping for getting to work at Thursday. Yeah, big shit. And then it really got ridiculous because the tire dealer, you know, opened his store at 8 o'clock in the morning, and we were like, hey, we're there, do you have this and this tire? Nope. Are you kidding me? He had thousands upon thousands of tires, but not this one. Except he had one, but with a less loading weight, which would have been okay for that one journey because we were not fully loaded, and on our way back, for sure, we would not have been heavier, believe me that. So after like half an hour of ranting, discussing, and begging, he said, okay, I have an idea. He knows somebody. Well, that's not a good sign if somebody knows someone. Yeah, he called a friend of his that also had a tire shop at the other side of Erlangen, which was the city that we were in. And he asked him if he does have such a tire. Yes, he does have it. Okay. Yeah, through the entire city at 8 o'clock in the morning. We picked it up, went back to the shop. He installed the tire, gave us the air in it, and we were off. 9 o'clock in the morning, and we still had around about 650 kilometers to go. I drove alone, nearly without sleep, but I was angry. That's a good thing on the German Autobahn. Napalm quotes 2017. Be angry on the German Autobahn. Yeah, all the memes. Okay, jokes aside, I was driving, and I made it to the meeting point in less than 7 hours. I don't tell you anything about the average speed or what I did to achieve it. Let's put it that way. It would have been quite bad if the same thing happened again. Please always check your tires very carefully for, traveling a long distance. It looked okay, it wasn't okay. Or I had the bad misfortune of driving into something on the Autobahn. That also could have happened. All those regulations and safety things are there for a good reason. I had an immense amount of luck. So we met the guys like 7 hours after we actually said we would arrive, and yeah, then we went to the holy ground. Tuesday afternoon. But we still got a good camping spot, and then it was nearly 1 week of drink, metal, and good conversations. However, we had a special place for the rubber. Yes, it's hanging in the middle of the beer tent. Oh, it was glorious. And this tire will be with us with every festival that we will visit. Oh boy. You can laugh, you can smile, you can make all the jokes afterwards, but the good thing is nothing serious happens. Except for the loss of time and money. But, you can deal with that. Now onwards with War Thunder. First of all, what did I think about the last ship mass test that Gaijin did? I think it was fun. It was fun in realistic, it was even more fun in arcade, I enjoyed it. I actually liked all the ships. I thought every ship had quite a distinctive role to fill. But I have to say the Japanese one was the destroyer was on the lesser part, while the small Japanese boat, the patrol boat, was awesome. The German one, the S-100, was really odd. I think we all have to still learn how to, you know, make the best use of our ship and how to engage an enemy properly, where to aim, and how to aim the drop and the lead with the vertical and horizontal speed of the ships and so on. So we have to learn all of us. Except if you're an expert, tell me your dark secrets. Then I think the map design was awesome, the combat was awesome, the sound design was a bit odd, because even in a plane you heard every impact into the water, even across the map. That's an annoying part, that should get fixed, but I'm quite sure it will be addressed. Although it's in RB for quite some time, in RRB that is, that you hear every bomb drop and every destroyed ship and every torpedo impact, even across the map, like 50 kilometers away. That's a bit annoying. That should get addressed rather sooner than later. Then, what about the i6 video, guys? I am really wondering about the like to dislike ratio. I mean, I didn't expect too many likes, but the amount of dislikes was kind of surprising, especially because I don't know where they're coming from. Is it arcade? Is it my commentary? Is it the gameplay? Is it all together? Is it my cockiness? Or... no, because it was not really stated too much in the comments. You know, I promise you there will be an RB gameplay of it, which will be awesome. For my standards, I guess. So, you know where I'm going. Let me know in the comment section. Then, no views for the low tier motivation video, the Italian aircraft. I think it's now the right time to use the meta of the game regarding the machine gun buff, the AP bullets in particular, 50 cal, so on. The Italian low tier aircraft with their 12.7 Breda machine guns also profit from it, and I think now it's the best time to get done with it when you want to have especially your lower tier vehicles being spaded, all of them. Big news for Gamescom, being one of the sentences stated in the dev blog about the Steyer Waffenträger. That's the next big part. Oh boy. First of all, for everybody of you that is hyped about that vehicle, what the hell do you expect from that vehicle? Really, what do you expect from it? It's a long 88 on a vehicle without armor. It's basically nothing but a Nashorn with a fully traversable turret. Low horsepower to weight ratio, not quite sure about the gun handling, how much ammunition can it take with it, how much crew, what about the cast, what about the allied cast? Do you think really this vehicle will get away with it? It's open top. I think you can nearly kill all of the crew with machine gun fire from above. Machine gun fire, not even 50 cals. You know, much like the Nashorn or the Dicke Max or the Sture Emir. We will see where it exactly is, which kind of impact it will have. I predict somewhat 6.0, something around about this, for tank RB, BR, something like this. Then, you know, this opens up a whole new level. First of all, I think it's the first step towards addressing the problems with German lineups at higher tiers or higher battle ratings, but to give the Germans a slow vehicle without armor with a gun that's already in game, I guess without any special ammunition, or in other words the normal shells, will not really solve the issue that we have. It's not an anti-aircraft vehicle, it's not a new aircraft or an overhaul of the flight models, it's not a buff to any given vehicle. I mean, the best that they can come up with is giving it an insane reload, but then, big deal, you know. It will not have a stabilizer, I guess, but it's more or less a prototype. Yes, it existed. I saw some pictures before that, but, you know, will we see the Waffenträger of E100, Jagdpanzer of E100 with the 17 centimeter gun like in World of Tanks? You know, in the years to come, we will see. I'm not really impressed with it because it doesn't fit the meta of the game. Where can you really snipe for long range? You know, what will potato trucks do with you? planes with machine guns, the spam of it early on when it gets released will lead to even more quick losses for the German tanks. That's my prediction. I'm quite negative about it, yet I support the introduction of it, because I want to see more vehicles all there. The times, for me personally, where we could look at War Thunder realistic battles for quite some historical background are long gone, and they will never come back. Even the Russians suffer by it. But, you know, we will see if I'm right or totally wrong. Maybe, you know, it's low profile, few bushes on it, maybe some reworks for the map. We will see. But again, overall, I predict that the Steyer Waffenträger is just like a turreted Nashorn. That's it. And, you know, the maps by themselves are short range, city combat, a lot of hills and all that stuff. Kursk nearly gets never featured. That's the big drawback of this vehicle, where it actually could fit in the sniper role. But then again, what's the Jagdpanther for it? What's the Ferdinand for? You know, that vehicle already are casemated tank destroyers that are really not that bad at sniping. So it's practically a King Tiger with our armor. Oh, big deal. That's exactly what Germany needed. But, you know, let me know your opinions in the comment section. Yeah. You know, that was actually not how I wanted to end Duck Talks, but I guess that's enough rambling for 1 week. So please don't forget to ask questions. I try to answer them all. And let me know your thoughts about the stuff that you just heard and so on. Give this video a like if you did, subscribe if you want to see more, and we'll see each other on the waves, in the air, and on the battlefields of War Thunder.